Chapter 55. About the mountain Strabengel near Graz. 29th August 1840. No matter how untidy and improperly many a structure may seem to you, oh believe, not a little dust rests or moves from its place, except according to the fullness of my eternal love and wisdom. You see, this area where you are now is surrounded by disorderly mountains and hills, some higher, some lower. If you would ask your naturalists, why so? They would give you no other answer than one which you could have imagined without them. They would say, all this has come into being, as it were, by chance through the unskilful, raw forces of nature, and will also gradually change again, more or less through them. And further, some will say, this kind of mountain was created by fire, another kind by a gradual addition from the southwest to the northeast. Still others will say, this kind of mountain was created by alluvial deposits and the like, and several such reasons for its formation. But how, if I now opened such a hill in the middle and divided it up to the flat surface in different directions from its apex, and the scholars, with their alluvial system, would then walk through these now opened alleys and look at the bowels of the hill. And this would ruin all their educational systems by containing between clay and sand layers masses of stone weighing 100 weight. Here and there, again, stone rubble. Here and there, lime. Here and there, coal. Here and there, petrified animal bones of terrestrial animals, and large bodies of water. And here and there would even be found utensils on which there were still clear traces of the diligence of human hands. What do you think the natural scientists would tell you there? I think they would strongly shrug their shoulders and make continuous movements with their heads, and you would bring out of them just as little as out of a tree. And see, just such a conglomerate is this hill. And therefore, for your knowledge, it is firstly necessary to know how such a hill came into being, and secondly, why. And thirdly, a small historical note is to be added. You already know from earlier communications, namely from the animal kingdom, from where, how, and why this kingdom originates and exists. But there is still a small gap in your knowledge, and it is precisely on this occasion that this gap is to be filled. You know that matter is nothing but a great school of humiliation for the arrogant spirits. You know that water in its pure components is a flood of grace from my merciful love. You know that the light of the sun shines out of my grace and the warmth out of my love. Therefore, those little animals that arise from the light atoms and light monads, are nothing but bearers of my merciful love and grace from my height to the material depth of the earth. They are nothing but countless animating love particles, pouring out of me to bring back life to the dead spirits, in the way I have shown you previously, in the depiction of the plant world, and especially in that of a tree. Now behold, sometimes it happens, especially in regions where there are some great waters, the more waters, the more grace, that I see in some part a great maturity of humiliated matter. There I then let a greater stream of life flow out of me. The free good spirits of the water notice this and feel a great joy for it to flow through their common life. Then they release themselves from their community and play a loose game with the water, so that they often put it into a restless, bouncing movement within an hour's radius. But the closer the stream of life approaches from above, the higher they carry the floods joyfully upwards. But how even in man a great joy expresses itself in a circular movement. Note well, whereby I certainly do not want to have understood your dancing at the bowls, but that of the man after my heart, David before the ark. In the same way, these spirits also unite in the water, carrying it with themselves in a rapidly undulating circle. And as they then see and perceive that the life out of me from above in a visible cloud form has stretched out the redeeming arm, then the lively spirits in their joy double their circling flood movement and tremble over the image of the redeeming arm of my mercy. See, such a movement is then felt by far surrounding myriads, and then flow underwater from all areas to such a main branch. At the same time, however, such contributions also happen from the dry land, and the nature spirits often travel miles in short periods of time. And in their frenzy, they spare nothing that comes their way. Trees, houses, equipment, people, animals, everything is taken along in their joyful frenzy without the slightest protection. And there, such overland phenomena, that is, those that take place on the solid land, offer two essentially different characters. There are those who are modest in their zeal. These then express themselves in a so-called whirlwind or a formal tornado. The others, however, are more untamed in their joy. These then glow in their zeal and then speak out as so-called whirlwinds of fire or flaming tornadoes. Now look, when now these vortices have united with everything that they have taken with them on their journeys, then through such rapid circles, which are unbelievable for you, a great loosening of matter takes place in a wide circle. What matter, be it sand, stones, aquatic animals, land animals, implements, and the like, is brought together to form a mountain, as this very hill is, on the spot where the main redemption takes place. Here you now have the how. And now that you have this, the why will no longer be far from you. For the one why is already given in the answer to how. The other why, concerning the manner of the formation of this hill, becomes clear to you when you look back at the representation of the essence of a tree and consider the wood of it in which the malice of such spirits appears in a newly established form. It is quite the same with such a great liberation. For wherever a meal is given, there are also uninvited guests, or even those who have not yet put on a wedding dress, and are therefore not yet ripe for life. These will then again be pushed out into the outermost darkness in the way visible to you for a humiliating test. Above all, however, a misconception among you must be corrected. You should not think as if visible matter, such as stones, earth, plants, trees, and the like, are the spirits themselves. But all this is only a prison for them, and cuts them off from the thread of life out of me. And only insofar as my will is sufficient, a small door will be opened for them to gradually escape death through a free will intelligence inherent in every spirit. But what matter is in and of itself, I tell you, it is nothing but the wrath softened by my merciful love. Why matter here and there expresses itself in this way, that will be more clearly explained to you if you wish to visit the known Alp, the Koralp, as an announcement was made on September 13th, 1840, along with several others, but then most clearly in the revelation of the centre and the rest of the design of the earth. See Lorber's work, Earth and Moon. But now, a little more history